Hello there and welcome to the review of the Liverpool versus Bournemouth game. I actually did record a video yesterday, but then I fell asleep and forgot to post it, and it didn't seem relevant at the time with stuff that I was saying in the video, so I decided just to make a new one. So yeah, the curse of working a 4 AM shift, it destroys your sleeping pattern, but very, very, very impressive victory by Liverpool, and one that was very needed as well. Hopefully going to go through some stats as well once I load up, as I should have done before I started the video as well, on the old iPad. But really impressive victory for Liverpool, and a really well needed one as well. A victory where Anfield sounded like it was an unbelievable atmosphere. Really, really unbelievable, and that's just on TV. For someone like me who can't get to the games, can't afford to go, it was unbelievable to hear and see the crowd doing the absolute best that they could to get the team going. And then the team responded and actually gave the fans more to cheer about as well. And it was really, really good. Really, really cool to see. And it was a very, I want to say, clinical and incisive display, but there were obviously points where we could have probably been a bit more clinical as well. When we go into some of the stats, like we had 15 shots in total, 9 shots on goal, which is a great amount of shots to have on goal, and then 3 goals. Now you can't really complain after a 3-0 victory, but when you've got 9 shots on goal, you got 15 shots in the whole game. We limited Bournemouth to only 2 shots on target the whole game, and we bossed possession as well. We actually turned that possession into a victory and some very good goals. But you would maybe expect us to put a couple more of those goals away. And hopefully this could be a turning point for us in terms of the results we've had in the last couple of games against Leicester, against West Ham. Even go back to Crystal Palace as well, where we won that one 4-3. That one should have maybe been a little bit more comfortable, and I say comfortable loosely because I can't expect us to go out there and have a comfortable game just because there may be a team a bit lower down in the league than us. It shouldn't be comfortable, and I always say that every game in the Premier League is a difficult game, and you've got to take it seriously every single time. It doesn't matter if you're playing Man City or if you're playing bottom of the league, whoever it is. I think it might be Huddersfield right now. You take it as seriously as each other because they offer you the exact same reward, 3 points. So you have to take it as seriously as bottom, top of the league. So that doesn't, that's why I always say you can't just take every game as a given. Just because maybe a team got smashed in a result, in their previous game, they may turn it around in the next game. So, we got goals from Sadio Mané, nice goal. Obviously, people are turning around saying there's a hint of offside. There seems to be a hint of offside, or a hint of offside for every single Liverpool game now. If it's not Salah, or if it's not Mané, it's someone else. And people are always trying to say that there were things offside here. I don't personally believe it was offside, because when I've seen the screenshots back and I've seen the footage back and stuff like that, from what I've read and what I've heard about the offside rule, it's if their feet are offside, if they've got an arm in an offside position or something like that, that doesn't necessarily count. And from the video footage that was shown, his feet were in line with Nathan Ake. Now, there's obviously some images, well, I say obviously, there are some images going around where they've actually photoshopped Nathan Ake out, but not his shadow, to try and make it look like Liverpool get all these decisions put in there in our direction. That's not the case, not in my opinion anyway. And to be honest, I don't really care because we got the goal. That's all I care about. Now, Wijnaldum, I'm going to come on to Wijnaldum a little bit more in depth. I say in depth, I'm more just going to praise the absolute hell out of him in a little bit, but he got a really, really good goal. I think it was chipped into him by Andy Robertson, like just dinked in, and it looked like quite a difficult ball. He was on the edge of the box, just going into the box, controlled it, took it down, took it a little bit, and just dinked it over the keeper from about like 8 yards out. And the keeper, can't remember his name, is it Boruc or something like that? Whoever it was, I could actually just look here. It was Artur Boruc. He just didn't deal with it very well, and it just went over him, sailed in for 2-0, and we were looking comfortable. We were looking very, very, very comfortable. And then I think we got the second goal pretty quickly after half time. Mohamed Salah, really, really nicely taken goal, set up by another guy who's going to get a lot of praise as well. Naby Keita put this ball through, and it was a really nice outside the boot little flick through. I can't say flick through. It wasn't. It was a really nice through ball through to Roberto Firmino, who backheeled it into the path of Mohamed Salah, who first time low drives it into the bottom left-hand corner. Really, really good goal, and it really just settled the nerves. So, I mean, the nerves were already settled somewhat by going 1-0 up, but we'd seen what had happened in the previous games, where we'd gone 1-0 up, and then we end up drawing the game 1-1. This was different. And I'm gonna try and go into why I think it was different. Obviously, there was a lot of things that maybe hindered our performances against Leicester and against West Ham. We had personnel missing, and we had people possibly playing a little bit out of position, but I think that was really only James Milner in this game. I actually think that James Milner did really, really well in this game. I felt that Van Dijk did brilliant in this game as well. I felt that Wijnaldum was man of the match. I honestly think that he has been such a missing part of this midfield since we went on that little run where we just weren't in control of our games, where we haven't lost a game since Man City, but we just didn't seem like we had a great deal of control, a great deal of composure in terms of defence and stuff like that. And I felt that came back, and I felt a lot of that was to do with how the midfield was actually able to set up. I felt that Fabinho had a great game alongside Wijnaldum, which I think is a key thing. Whenever Fabinho plays with Wijnaldum, whether it's as part of a 2 in a 4-2-3-1 or as the deeper player in a 4-3-3, and the other two guys, which were in this case was Wijnaldum and Naby Keita, they were able to have much more of a license to go forward because Fabinho is being the protector of the back four. I felt that worked really, really well. Those guys were able to flourish a lot more going forward, and I just felt that Wijnaldum just gave us that little bit more solidity. He gave us that work rate. It's almost like, I'm not comparing the two players. I am not comparing the two players whatsoever. But it's almost like what Fernandinho gives to Man City. When Fernandinho's missing from Man City, you can tell. Doesn't matter if they've got Kevin De Bruyne on the pitch or they've got Aguero on the pitch. They've still got world-class players. But there's just that little bit of something missing. And when they had that little bit of a stutter where they lost games against, I think, Leicester and Crystal Palace, he was missing. Now, I feel that Wijnaldum has come in and he's come back into the team. People may turn around and say, look, dude, it's only Bournemouth, don't get carried away. I don't think it's getting carried away. I think that having that type of midfield is a really, really good option for us, and I think it could be the option going forward, having that kind of midfield with Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Naby Keita, because you only have to go back for the last two games and look at the performance of Naby Keita to this performance of Naby Keita. This performance of Naby Keita is much more akin to what we were expecting from when he came from RB Leipzig. This was a brilliant performance, possibly one of his best performances in a Liverpool shirt that we've seen this year. And it is no coincidence that it has come when it's been alongside Wijnaldum and alongside Fabinho. I just feel that Wijnaldum helps us tick in the midfield. And then obviously, with the guys that have been suffering from, not injuries, from illness, which I think was Milner, I think Van Dijk was, I think someone else was as well, and I can't exactly remember who. It might have been Wijnaldum, but I'm not entirely sure. I think it was Wijnaldum actually. Before the game against Bournemouth, he was apparently not very, very well. Hopefully, this now means that we start to see much more of the Liverpool that we had at the start of the season, where we were very defensively solid, which meant that we can hopefully, progress further. We've got tough games coming up. And there's a lot of praise for the guys up front who were scoring the goals as well. But it was just nice to see a composed midfield performance, defensive performance, and Alisson as well in goal. Can't forget Alisson. It was really, really good to see that after the last couple of games that we've seen as well. And it's also, it's important now, obviously we can say this looking back, it's important to have gotten this victory on the board, because now we've got about a week's break before we play Bayern Munich in the Champions League. So we don't play this weekend. I don't believe we play this weekend anyway. So we play Bayern Munich, and then I think we've got Manchester United, and then I think we might have Bayern Munich again. Something like that anyway. It's going to be it's a difficult run of fixtures, but also it has to be mentioned, the absolute tonking that Man City gave Chelsea yesterday. What that shows me is that Man City wanted to use Chelsea as a marker for what they can do. Now, as impressive as that performance was from Man City yesterday, and I will talk about it just a little bit, as impressive as that was, and it was, honestly, it was a very, very impressive performance. It was a Chelsea team that at the moment are stuttering badly. They are fluctuating between, alright, I think they got beat by Bournemouth 4-0, and then they went and beat Huddersfield 5-0, so there maybe was a little bit of an uplift. But I don't think anybody expected, maybe Man City fans may have been expecting a bit of a good result like that. I don't think anybody expected Man City to roll over Chelsea within 20 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever it was. They were 4-0 up after 25 minutes. I mean, it's one of those things, you know, I think Graham Souness has said it at the weekend, saying that if Liverpool want to win the league, they cannot drop a point. Puts a little bit of pressure on, but it's the reality of the situation as well. It is the reality of you have two very, very strong teams. Can kind of include Tottenham in there because they are doing their best to keep up with the top two in Liverpool and Man City. You know, but out of us two, it is going to be literally who makes a mistake first. And hopefully, because we have a game in hand on Man City, a lot of the media focus on the fact that now Man City are back top and they've improved their goal difference immeasurably. But we still have the game in hand on them. So I think Jamie Carragher has also said it, that if Liverpool are in a position where it doesn't necessarily matter what Man City do, because if we go and win all of our games, we win the league. That means that everything is still in our hands. It's in our hands until it's taken away from us, until we lose it. You know, and you know, God knows what is going to happen in terms of injuries and such like that. We've suffered our fair share. You know, we've still got Joe Gomez to come back, but we're getting good news that the likes of Trent, obviously Trent came on against Bournemouth as well, looked okay. It's fingers crossed this training camp that they're going to have now, in between Bournemouth and playing Bayern Munich, hopefully that does so much for the squad, and hopefully we don't pick up any more injuries. In that time, we should get Lovren back at some point as well, which just means we've got another centre-back option. But I also felt that Matip didn't have a bad game against Bournemouth. So again, we've got options coming in, and it looks like, hopefully, it just gives me a little bit more, I don't want to say confidence, because I'm not an overconfident person when it comes to anything, to be honest. I'm not an overconfident person in just the fact that I think that, yeah, we can go out there and we're going to smash them. I know that our team have the capability of doing it, but I'm also a realist in the fact that I know that we can slip up. Pardon the pun. I hate using that term, but there's no other way to say it. That we can stutter ourselves. And I think as long as we can stave off as much as we can and do our best, I can't really ask any more of the team. If we do our best and we come up short at the end of this season, it is going to be disappointing. But if we've done our best every single time, there's really not much more that you can ask of the team. It just means that maybe at the end of the season, we just weren't good enough. On the flip side of that, if we do go all the way and we tried our hardest, again, you really can't ask more of the team. They've gone out and done the best that they can, and they may go on to possibly win the league, or whatever happens in the Champions League as well. That is just how I take it. And I don't expect other people to take it that way. I look at things in a very measured way. It's why I don't always do instant reaction videos after a match anymore, because I want to take in time to soak in our game, maybe watch it again, try and look at how we actually played, but also I want to take in other results as well and how that impacts us. So while I made the video yesterday and fell asleep before I actually posted it and forgot to post it as well, so yeah, in between that time, Man City went and laid down a marker against Chelsea, and now it gives us another talking point as well. So anyway, there's going to be talking points coming, you know, a lot of talking points before now and the end of the season. We're just going to have a lot to talk about, aren't we? And that's never a bad thing for someone who likes to talk a lot. Anyway, brilliant performance by Liverpool. Very, very pleased. Loved it. What did you guys think of it? In the comments below, please. If you don't mind, that'd be awesome. We can have a discussion in there as well. If you've liked this video, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. If you feel like it, you don't have to, of course. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will catch you later.